John Kurtz posted a video yesterday, and I like John Kurtz a lot. He is somebody that I respect as a content creator, and the title of the video was, "Is the Big 12 in trouble?" And I thought, you know what, John? You got me. I'll give it a gander. And, the first comment's like, "This is clickbait." I'm like, oh, heard that one before. But what he goes on to do is explain with detail how the Big 12 might possibly be in trouble. And he doesn't say the Big 12 when it comes to the NCAA is in a doomsday scenario. However, he does break down that with the new legislation, the NCAA's, so this is from Ross Dellinger too. Kurtz is using a lot of Ross Dellinger here. So, and Ross Dellinger, very good. The NCAA's historic expansion of scholarships to extend to full rosters means that roughly 790 new scholarship spots are available across the 40-plus NCAA sports listed in the settlement House versus NCAA per a calculation. Again, that tweet is from Dellinger. Kurtz broke it down and said, what does this do for the Big 12? Now, on the front end, when I hear, hey, wait a second, we are taking football scholarships from 85 to 105, my first thought is bad, very bad for the Big 12. And then you go, I wonder why that's bad for the Big 12. It doesn't sound like it has to be bad for the Big 12. The reason that I could see this being a complete colossal issue, number one, is because now there's more of an opportunity for the 4- and 5-star players to have better chances at bigger schools. Alabama now has 20 more spots. Florida State now has 20 more spots. Oregon has 20 more spots to dole out, to move around, to give those 4-star players a even larger home. You hear that, you go, that's probably not good. Other thing that's not good, possibly $25 million moving forward very soon in revenue sharing with those student athletes. So we're adding 790 scholarship athletes here. That's a lot of scholarship athletes. And with the legislation that's recently come out, schools are going to pay them as employees. Big 12 is already looking around and going, I'm not sure if we can afford that. J.B. Pollard, the athletic director at Iowa State, when this all came out that he may have to spend $22 million a year trying to figure out how to navigate college athletics and pay his athletes, he took 2 major building projects with athletic facilities and put them on hold because that university, Iowa State, is going to need to save money, not knowing if they can afford how college football and college athletics is going. And there are a lot of Big 12 schools that are in that category. One hand, bad. More roster spots for LSU. They can take more 4-star players. On the other end, they will. They're not going to be like, oh, well, we got 20 new scholarships. We're going to bring in some 2-star local kids, and give you guys a chance. No. The other hand, the other side of this, that $25 million, that's also not good. And Brett Yormark, the conference commissioner, is trying to fight with the Big 12 to expand, to make more money in creative ways, to try to find a way to stay alive in this ever-changing world. Can we just have a precedented time? Can time just be precedented once, please? Just for a second, we could turn that on. It's unprecedented times in college athletics. And the question is, the Big 12 in trouble is a valid one. I'll give you that. But I stand firm that the answer is no. The Big 12 is going to be in a better spot because of these new roster moves. The Big 12 is going to have more opportunities to compete because of these new roster moves. I've talked to coaches in the Big 12 who, especially on the softball, baseball side, and I know it's not the big moneymaker, but here's where it matters a lot. Those coaches have had to work with such little money and such little look, you're at a Big 12 school. You're not making near as much as Nebraska. And they were giving you 12 scholarships for softball. So now, not only can we not afford full rides for the entire roster that might reach as much as 30, like we're looking at somewhere in that range, not only can we not give full scholarships, we're really trying to hey, you're worth a 70% scholarship. You're worth a 90% scholarship. What can we do for you financial aid wise? They're figuring out in the trenches how to piece this together. Whereas at Alabama, they've got a full fluid way of doing this. Hey, buddy, we're going to get you this amount of money and this amount of money and this amount of money, whether it be through NIL, we could go through, hey, look, a Pell Grant. Oh, look at this scholarship that we have for you. The excess of money at these other universities is what helps those colleges. It's what helps those colleges fill where there are less scholarships. And you're going, well, isn't it going to benefit now there are more scholarships? No, because at this point, it's no longer, hey, we can only give half scholarships to all of our athletes. Now, the Big 12 schools, now that kid who's a 3-star grinder who always dreamt of going to the Big 12 school can go to the Big 12 school on a full scholarship. My sister is a Baylor softball commit. she was going to have to take a less than full scholarship because they don't really do full scholarships in softball, given the limits that they have. And now the NCAA is making it an even playing field and saying, hey, wait a second, you don't have to sacrifice or suffer or go somewhere else or make less money or skip out of your dream school. And look, you don't have to stay. You don't have to stick around. The transfer portal exists now. So you go to Alabama and Alabama backloaded. Alabama got 10 more 4-stars in football than they were going to. And now those guys don't play. We're in an era of college football where it's better to go start 3 years at Western Kentucky, spend your last 2 years at Oregon, and then you're a household name. That is the new trajectory. That is where this is going to come into play. And it doesn't hurt the Big 12 because now in your smaller sports, the playing field is even. We have scholarships and money, 790 scholarships to move around in NCAA sports. And we don't have to tell a kid no because we can't afford it. Now we can. Now we're given the opportunity to get oh, well, how are they going to afford to put 13 new scholarships in? Buddy, when I got to Baylor, and Baylor's not in the minority here. When I got to Baylor, I paid, I didn't pay it, but my tuition annually was like $40,000. When I left Baylor, tuition was $52,000. When I tell you very firmly, everyone else is paying for the student athletes to be there, the scholarship addition is not going to be an issue. The revenue sharing is. That's a different story. But scholarship-wise, this is not going to hurt the Big 12 conference near as much as many people think it might. Football-wise, those 20 extra, I think you're in an okay spot. And maybe, look, way more full-time, way more full scholarships in football. But again, what this is going to do is it's going to take an Alabama who's got 10 guys, 10 4-star guys who didn't get their playing time, who didn't get their roses, didn't get their flowers, they don't want to be there. They're going to leave. Texas Tech, they're back 10. They're 95 through 105, significantly worse than LSU. I know that. I'm okay admitting that. Those guys are transferring out, and you're going, didn't lose much there. And instead, we're gaining these 3 kids from Alabama. TCU's been doing this. We're getting these 3 kids from Alabama who have 2 years under their belt. At Bama. Yeah, I hate it. I love it. Washington State, Oregon State, back in our headlines. Of course they are. On Locked On Big 12, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show brought to you by FanDuel. Look, August 1st is coming up. My rent is due. I go to FanDuel and I say, FanDuel, what can you do for me? And FanDuel says, look, buddy, there's Major League Baseball on right now. The Olympics are on right now. Watching them swim the other day. Watching them do the gymnastics. Flip it all around. I love sports. I love them. Obviously, I love them very much. But as we have fewer games, fewer sports on, FanDuel keeps you engaged this summer. FanDuel's hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That is right. There's something for everyone every day all summer long. Head to FanDuel.com. Start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. When you see Spencer Strider have 10 strikeouts, I think he's still playing. Is he the one that's hurt? Maybe don't do 10 strikeouts for him. But go to FanDuel.com. Find your favorite prop. No, and you're going to love it. FanDuel.com. Visit today.